I devoured, like read in one day, Magnolia Parks. I read this yesterday. I was planning to start it yesterday and then finish it today as like a little bit of momentum. You know, when you finish a book and you feel unstoppable. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna set myself up for success for this 24-hour readathon because I am very distractible. I get very distracted during readathons. So I was like, yeah, I'll set myself up for success where I'm already in the middle of something. But then I read the whole thing yesterday. So I was planning on vlogging some of my experience reading this, but to sum it up, my feelings flip-flopped. I was so back and forth about everything that I was feeling with this book, but then by the end, the last like 100 pages, I was crying so much at things happening, and then the way that this ended, I was so upset. I didn't realize it till the end how attached I was to them. And based on how I'm feeling right now and how Magnolia Parks made me emotionally distraught, I think I'm gonna start with a photo finish because at the very least, this will have some good times and it will have a happily ever after for sure. So I think this one is best for my mood right now. But I am leaning towards a fantasy romance just because romantasyathon has started. This is on my TBR for romantasyathon. I do have the rest of the week, but I might start chipping away at this. So I'm hoping to get in some really good reading today because I actually am gonna clean the house. I do have a longer weekend, but I would like to get all of the cleaning out of the way today, and it's prime audiobook listening time. We are sprinting right now. We are going to watch a movie later, and you know that when I have a 24-hour readathon, I get snacks. I got snacks. And I'm not shopping at Target right now, so I braved, okay, please give me a round of applause. I braved Trader Joe's. There's something in the air at Trader Joe's. I've been talking to a few people about this. There's something in the air, starting with the parking lot. Why is the parking lot like that? Why has a Trader Joe's never had a nice parking lot a day in their lives? Secondly, when you get in there, why is everyone moving at the speed of lightning and trying to fist fight over corn puffs? What are we doing? It made me feel frantic. I felt frazzled, and I was already very tender. I was already very tender because of Magnolia Parks. So it was a wild time. I blacked out a little bit. I got some snacks that I think are gonna be good, but again, I don't know. I was just grabbing things because everybody was just acting like we were in the apocalypse, and I didn't know what else to do except grab my snacks. That is actually the reason I don't really go to Trader Joe's, because I don't want to feel that way. I already don't really love grocery shopping, so I don't want to feel that way when when I am grocery shopping. I just want to get my snacks and be cute. So I got cheese puffs because I don't know, thought it would be fun. I'm typically a hot Cheeto person, but back in the day they had like a hot Cheeto dupe. They were not good. So I got the cheese puffs because I love crunchy things. We know this. And then you know I had to get popcorn because I love popcorn. But I am really excited about this one because it's seasoned with nutritional yeast, onion, sea salt, and garlic. These are the Hold the Cone waffle cone tips filled with dark chocolate. Every brand that I've ever tried of this like type of snack I've really loved, so I have no doubt these are going to be delicious. And I already got into these, so I can tell you that these are so good. These are so good. This is the cookies and cream pretzel slims because she's a skinny legend. And then I got their version of M&Ms and their version of gummy bears because I love anything sour, chewy, fruity, and I hope these are good. I don't think they're gonna be sour, but I hope that they're good. The other thing that I got, it's actually in the freezer, is this boba kit. So you like boil some water and you make the boba in like a minute. So this morning we walked to the coffee shop and I am about to make some of that boba and pour my matcha over the boba. That was my plan to begin with, but I was just gonna make the matcha myself, and then I wanted to go on a walk, and my little 2 feet took me to the coffee shop. Oh, also my readathon has a bingo board, so a lot of the things that I already did this morning are getting crossed off my bingo board very early on, so I'm feeling really good. I have been cleaning, we're sprinting, I'm reading, and I'm now 151 pages into a photo finish, which is perfect because it's like 12:30 right now, and at 1 we're going to watch Miss Congeniality because it is one of my favorite movies of all time and I haven't seen it in so long. I'm so curious about how it will hold up and also how much of it I remember. I feel like I've seen it so many times that there's no way I don't remember most of the plot, because there are certain quotes in that movie that I literally quote in my everyday life. But anyway, yeah, I've been reading a photo finish and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. This is so different than I anticipated because I have a few friends who've talked about this book, like not on Bookstagram or BookTube, but in my real life. And a lot of them have talked about this book in relation to an online dating situation. And while that is accurate, that there is an online relationship situation happening, I thought that was the whole book. The way that they talked about it, I thought that was the entirety of the book, that like for most of the book, they were talking online. There wasn't really interactions with them in real life, but the online portion happens like 2 or 3 years in the past. And we do get to see that. It's sprinkled throughout the plot so far, but the rest of the plot is happening while they're like actually interacting with each other in real life constantly. Violet, our main character, she is a jockey and she gets hurt. She gets hurt during a race and she like hurts her arm or her leg, I don't really remember, but she can't live in the apartment that she's living in because she would have to climb all of these stairs and it's just too much for her during her recovery. And her best friend, who I'm assuming, because I will admit I have not read the first book in the series, but I think that the best friend and the couple that we first see in the beginning of the book is the couple from the first book in the series. Anyway, her best friend is like, oh, you can move in with me. And then she's like, yeah, but your only bathroom is on the 2nd floor and I can't get upstairs right now. So she is forced to live with Cole. And here's the thing. Here's the catch. Violet used to have like an online persona because she was trying to like remake her life. If you didn't know, if you haven't read the Chestnut Spring series, Violet is the sister to all of the brothers in the Chestnut Spring series. She moves away from her family farm and she's like making a life for herself in a different area. And she decides to make a sexy online persona because she's like, I need to put myself out there. This is the new me. I'm just gonna be happy with my body and myself. And Cole, who remains anonymous in their interactions, basically strikes a deal with her, kind of like a sexual deal, I guess you could say. But at some point in their online relationship, Violet ghosted him and they happen to run into each other a year or so after she ghosted him when she starts being a jockey and she wins like first place in this really big competition. Can you tell that I don't know what I'm talking about? I don't know anything about being a jockey or like horse riding. But anyway, she wins first place and they come face to face. And again, she doesn't know who he is. So this interaction is like kind of awkward for her. And she's like, who is this man? And then he literally calls her by her screen name and she's like, oh shit. So she's been trying to avoid him since that interaction happened. And at this point in time, because of circumstances, it's impossible for her to do that. And so they have to interact with each other. And now they're living under the same roof. I'm really, really interested to see where this is gonna go because Cole is that character that like, he knows he's a curmudgeon. He knows he has a horrible personality and that he's mean to everybody, but he can't help it. Like he has inner monologue with himself where he's like, I wish I had a different personality. I wish I were different. And you know what, Cole? Same. Same. The way that I have the same conversations with myself, except not about being mean to people. This also cracks me up because Violet is blonde and that does not compute in my brain. That does not compute at all. What I am picturing is not what's being described. And it's being told to me over and over again. I'm aware she's blonde, but somehow my brain rejects it. My brain is rejecting it. we just gamed on Discord for like, I don't know, I think 2 hours. But it like hit me in the middle of that how tired I was and I needed to eat something. So I'm about to have a girl dinner and then I'm gonna get ready for bed. And it's only like 8 o'clock. But you know what? I have been so busy for the past like month that I only clean my house in like bits and pieces these days. And today I cleaned my whole house while on sprints. My house is so clean. My sheets, I have new sheets on and I'm so excited about it. I'm so excited to slip into these sheets. Also, last thing before I go, this Dr. Teal's sleep spray, calm blend with melatonin, lavender, and chamomile. I'm obsessed with this stuff. Not only does it smell amazing, I feel like it calms me, but it could also be a placebo effect. I don't really know, but I'm obsessed with it. So I'm gonna spray my room with it right now. Go eat, get ready for bed. Have a great night's sleep. It's 8 a.m. and we've already had a cock twitch. I think it's the most hilarious thing that in every romance, like every single romance that I've read, when they're getting ready to have sex, like the anticipation to sex, the man has like a cock twitch. What's that about? Someone explain it to me. I finished this. I loved it. I have my ambient room on in the back. 1 second. I loved this. I wasn't really sure for a second there because there's something about a really grumpy man where it feels like he's never going to get over that grumpiness with anyone. But I really felt for him because a lot of the things that he was going through, a lot of the reasons that he was the way that he was, had to do with like being in the military, had to do with a really toxic previous relationship, a lot of self-confidence and body issues within himself, which is something that I don't see a lot with male main characters in most books, is them dealing with their own body issues and like being really insecure about their bodies. Usually it's insecurity about other things, but he was very insecure about his body. And when we get to the point of actually addressing it and like learning about why he's so insecure with his body, I cried. And I just really love Violet as a character because she's just someone trying to figure it out, right? She's trying to figure out how to deal with this injury that she gets at the beginning of the book, but she's also trying to deal with like learning to be away from her family and learning to be on her own and make her own friendships. She is the youngest and only daughter of a bunch of brothers. And not only that, her mom passed away giving birth to her. So she's been smothered her whole life, as she puts it. And as much as she loves her brothers and she loves her father and she loved her upbringing, she just wanted to strike out on her own. And so you're really getting to see her grow into that. And that's also like a big part of why she started posting online and trying to be kind of this new version of herself, this more confident version of herself, is because she doesn't really know what it's like to be, I guess, like an individual person at this point, because she was so smothered and so intertwined into her family. She's just trying to kind of be her own independent person at this point in time. And you get to see bits and pieces of that in this book. You get to see her trying to thrive in her career and for the first time actually thriving and feeling confident in the choices she's made career-wise. Also, her friendship with Billy, that's her best friend. I love it so much. They're so cute. I'm like so sure Billy is the first female main character. Okay, so yeah, Billy is talented, whip smart, sassy, and so damn tempting. She and Vaughn crash from the moment they meet, but he can't stop thinking about her, and in a small town on an even smaller farm, it's hard to keep her distance. So Vaughn, the male main character, is actually Cole, the male main character, and here's brother. So they're brothers, that's how they're related, that's how these books are connected. And now I'm curious, I don't actually know if they have another brother, but now I'm curious if the next book in this series is going to follow another one of their siblings, because that's how the Chestnut Springs series is. And a lot of people don't love this one. I did read a portion of this at a point in time, and I ended up putting it down, not for lack of enjoyment, but I was just like kind of in a reading slump, and I felt like my slump was going to do this a disservice because I was enjoying it, but I just wasn't in the mood. So I ended up putting it down. I think I'll like it. I actually liked Flawless. I feel like Flawless is not the weakest book in the series, in the Chestnut Springs series, but that's my opinion. And I don't think that's a very popular opinion, but I don't think it's the weakest book in the series. I actually enjoy it. It's not my favorite. It's not as memorable as a lot of the other books in that series, but I don't think it's the weakest one. So I feel like I could like this, and knowing Billy and Vaughn already and like really enjoying them as a couple, as they're already together and seeing them together, I'm really curious about their love story. So I think that's helping. But yeah, you know me. Well, maybe you don't. Hi, I'm Steph. One of the things I absolutely love is a confession. I love when one of the characters like confesses all of their feelings, even if the other character knows, even if they've like slept together or kissed or whatever, like it's very clear that they want to be together. I love when like the third act breakup happens, and then coming back from that, bouncing back from that, there's like this big confession moment from one or both of the characters. It's one of my favorite things, and this one was great. This one was great. I love a little bit of groveling. I love it. And I just love Cole's character arc, because I feel like Violet is fairly confident throughout this book. You know, we're already seeing her at a stage where she's feeling a bit more confident in who she is and her career, even despite her injury. But she does feel a bit more confident and more grounded in herself, whereas Cole does not. He feels very insecure. He feels just unmoored, I guess is the word. Is that a good word? I don't know. Why did that one come to my mind? Anyway, he just had a lot of growth that needed to happen, and I feel like that growth for sure happens throughout this book, and he's constantly questioning himself. Like I even said in the beginning, there's many times when he says things like, why am I like this? Why can't my personality be different? Why can't I just be warmer with people or whatever? And so he kind of admires that about Violet, and I think he softens in a way and just becomes a character that I really liked. I think I'm going to start this Woven Kingdom finally, because I really am in a fantasy romance mood. I was going back and forth between rereading Blood and Steel, because I really want to like get through that series. It's also a completed series, and this one is not. This is not a completed series. I think I'm going to start with this, see how I feel, and if I'm not feeling it for whatever reason, I'll probably go into Blood and Steel and start rereading that to hopefully move on with the series. Because if I start that one, I don't necessarily want to marathon the series, but I'm definitely going to be actively reading through it. So yeah, we're currently on sprints. I'm definitely not going to finish this Woven Kingdom today, but I have the next 2 days off, so I think I'm going to extend this vlog into those 2 days and just make it like a long weekend vlog, because we have some plans later today where we're going to be hanging out with friends. We're going to go to dinner, we're going to go to a bookstore, and I just know I'm not going to get in as much reading as I want to today, so I'm going to extend this vlog a bit, which, did we all see that coming? Probably. Good morning. I just went on a walk. I've been really good about going on my walks in the morning-ish, like late morning to go grab a coffee or to just walk around. That being said, yesterday we had such a fun time with our friends. We went to 2 different Barnes & Nobles. One of them is like in this warehouse and they had so many books that I've never seen before. I'm talking indie published things that I've only ever seen on Amazon. That Barnes & Noble was incredible. The other one, the first one we went to as well, sometimes Jared and I go out of our way to go there because whoever the booksellers are there, you are God's gift to earth. Let me tell you that. Without a doubt, when I can't find a book at any of the near bookstores to me, Indie or Barnes & Noble, that one always has it. They always have it. They're always in stock. If I ever met that little angel on earth, I would give them a forehead kiss. But yeah, we had such a fun time. And on the way there, I was listening to This Woven Kingdom a little bit last night. I was listening to This Woven Kingdom and I am addicted. I am in it. I was fully immersed. When we were driving there, I had a moment. I had like a little moment where I was looking out the window, you know, just staring out the window, thinking about life, thinking about this book. And I realized how immersed I was into this world and into this writing. And this is the thing that I really love about Tahiti Mafi in general. And this is why I really loved Shatter Me and that whole series, because her writing is so immersive. I just find myself in the world. I find myself really attached to the characters, really empathizing with their feelings about things, really empathizing with the situations that they're in. I just feel so in it. And it was that moment while I was staring out the window, thinking about things, thinking about how much I love reading, that I realized I was in this. I'm so in it. I'm so in it. I love it so much. And it was in that moment that I was like, this is why I love reading. This is why I love certain authors that have a way with writing. And Tahiti Mafi has always kind of been that way for me. So I like that I gave her another shot because I was really putting off this series, and I'm glad that I finally gave it a chance. I'm glad that Aaron was raving about this series. It is going to be a 5-book series, which sucks because the 4th one is just barely coming out in September, and then the 5th one will probably come out late next year. Not too bad of a wait, but so far we're following 2 main characters. We have 2 POVs, and we have Allysson, and Allysson is basically a long lost princess or heir to a throne, but she's sort of hiding in plain sight because she is in disguise, I guess you could say, as a servant. But there's a situation that happens in the middle of the town that brings attention to her, but specifically brings attention to her from our secondary POV, Kamran, who is the heir to the throne of the kingdom that she is currently hiding in. And so he is very intrigued by her for a multitude of reasons. He believes her to be someone dangerous, but at the same time, the more he's learning about her, he's questioning his initial feelings about her and his initial thoughts about who she might be. So their paths are starting to cross, and he is very, very intrigued by her. He's very interested to know her story, but again, she's hiding and she is trying to keep a low profile. There have been some situations where she slips up a little bit, and I kind of love that about her character because I really like a flawed character in that way where they don't do everything perfectly. So I'm literally having the best time. I am having the best time, so much so that I went and got the rest of the series. Also, there is art in the front of these. Now, this is not how I picture the characters. Maybe I won't show you this one because I don't know if this particular picture is a spoiler, so I'm not gonna show it to you. But there's art in the front of these. Both of the art pieces are not how I personally picture the characters. I saw these incredible pieces of art, and I was like, yeah, absolutely, sign me up. The other really cool thing about the series is it's a Persian-inspired fantasy, and I always gravitate towards more desert fantasies, so I had a feeling that this was gonna work for me because some of my top favorite series are desert fantasies, and this has the vibe of a lot of those, but the writing is just... I could also give Tahiti Mafi a forehead kiss. I could. Anyway, today is a duvet day. I have declared it a duvet day. If you don't know what a duvet day is, it's just a day where you relax and try not to do anything strenuous or run errands. You just lay around the house and maybe move your body a tiny bit, get outside, get a little sunshine. Although I don't think it's gonna completely be a duvet day because we are still like searching for somewhere to live. And I think we have a tour of a house later today. I don't really know, but I'll keep you updated. random but super important update. I told you about the snacks that I got at the beginning from Trader Joe's, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of an update. So we have the cheese puffs and the popcorn here because I was snacking on the popcorn. At first, I wasn't like the biggest fan of the popcorn. I was like, it doesn't have a lot of flavor. I don't know, I've been snacking on it today and it's kind of banging. I'm kind of loving it. But those cheese puffs, these cheese puffs are so flavorful. Like, they are super flavorful. They're a little on the salty side, to be honest. Like, saltier than a normal cheese puff, but delicious nonetheless. Just the tips. These hold the cones are pretty good. I am not like the biggest lover of dark chocolate. I like dark chocolate, but sometimes it's like super, super bitter. This is not necessarily that. Like, I like it enough, but I would love to try like a milk chocolate version of this. But otherwise, this is good. If you're a dark chocolate lover, you'll probably like it. I already said this, but these bad boys are delicious. These are definitely my favorite of the group. The sweet stuff, this is my favorite that I tried. Savory, you know, I was gonna say the cheese puffs, but since I've been snacking on the popcorn today, I'm kind of loving the popcorn a little bit. I have yet to try the candy because I have this other sweet stuff, so I might do that tonight and then update y'all tonight because I think this is gonna be the last day of the vlog. I don't think I'm gonna go into tomorrow. I feel like I can finish this Woven Kingdom today because I'm loving it. I'm already 40% in since I last talked to you, which was like an hour and a half ago. I may spend the rest of the week reading it for romantasyathon. I don't know, but it's like very, very likely. I've officially tried the M&Ms, the M&M knockoffs from Trader Joe's, and I give them a solid 9 out of 10. Honestly, they're probably a 10 out of 10. They taste almost exactly like M&Ms. Despite being traumatized by my Trader Joe's experience, past and present, I will say they have some hits on their hands. Will I go out of my way to continue getting snacks there? It's possible. I can't lie to you, it's possible, but I will have to figure out like a scientific method of getting in there when there are as few people as possible. That being said, it is like 9:30 right now and I have been on the couch snacking all day. I've been snacking, having my little drinks, hanging out with Jared, playing games, reading this Woven Kingdom. I think we both needed a chill day. Just a day with minimal talking, just snuggles and snacks. A snuggle and snack day. The other best part about a snuggle snack day with minimal talking is I've been reading my heart out. And I finished this because the pages at some point were just turning themselves. I could not stop reading this. I just wanted to know what was gonna happen. Ever since yesterday when I was listening to it in the car and I realized that I was so immersed and so attached to the characters and it just kind of hit me out of nowhere, I knew that I was gonna fly through the rest of this book because I needed to know where it was going. And the way that this ended, I immediately jumped into the second one. As a matter of fact, I'm like 15% into the second one already. Everything I was saying earlier remains. Love the writing, love the world. I think the world becomes even more intriguing by the end. There are a few plot twists at the end that make it even more high stakes. And I just feel like the second book is going to destroy me a little bit, but also is going to expand the world in a way that I really, really want. I also really like both of our main characters, but I can't say that I am romantically rooting for them at this point in time. I would like to see how the rest goes because I like them as characters just generally. I really, really like following both of them. Romantically, I don't know that I'm sold on it. And I do think it's really funny because this says amazing romance, addictive, heart-wrenching, sumptuous. I think this is a fantasy book with inklings of a romance plotline, and I'm so sure that the romance is going to amp up in the rest of the series. I would hesitate to try to sell someone on this as like a romantasy. It's a fantasy with a romance subplot that's very minimal. It's very, very minimal. This is very much focused on the politics and the world building. It's focused on our characters' kind of individual paths, and they are crossing paths and they are romantically interested in each other, but it's not like the forefront at this point. And what is trying to be accomplished in here, like based on what's being set up, what's trying to be accomplished in here isn't necessarily a romance, I guess, but I definitely think that the romance will probably amp up, especially in the second book, and there's potentially a little love triangle that's gonna happen. Like, I'm 99.9% sure there's a love triangle that's gonna happen, and I am so curious to see how that plays out in the rest of the series. I'm also just so excited to see where this goes. Based on the end, a particular thing happened that I just am so excited about. I'm so excited about it. I actually wasn't expecting it, even though there are inklings to it. Like if you're paying attention to certain things with this series, there are inklings that thing was going to happen, but I just didn't think it would happen at the end of this book. And the one thing about Taheda Mafi is something about her books make me want to marathon them. Like when I read the Shatter Me series, I read that in like 2 days. I read the entirety of the series that was out. I think it was 4 books. I read it in 2 days. I just was pumping through them. These, I feel like I could do the same thing despite the fact that this is like 500 pages. The other ones are 400, so they're like 100 pages less. But I feel like I could pump through these. There's just something about her writing that's addictive to me. I just love it. I get wholly invested in her characters, and the plots are so interesting. And I feel that this plot is so much more intricate than I've seen from her before. And that's also like so incredible. To just see an author grow is really cool. And it's cool to like follow her journey in this way. So yeah, I loved this. Shout out again to Erin for hyping this up and pushing me to read this sooner than I probably would have. And now it's time to spend the rest of the week marathoning the other 2 books in the series. And I will be screaming about it, don't worry. I love spending a quick little weekend with y'all. It was so great hanging out with you. Thanks for watching. If you want to say hi below with a little emoji, feel free to leave a rose emoji. And I will talk to y'all next time. Oh, also, remember to check out Romantasyathon hosted by Tori. I will link the announcement video down below. I will tag Tori. Go check her out. Go subscribe. She is amazing. Romantasyathon is so fun. I look forward to it every year. So yeah, go check that out. But otherwise, I'll talk to you next time. Bye, friends.